Hello, hello.
Sorry, okay. ஆரம்பிச்சலாமா? Good evening. First, we request all of you to keep your mobiles in silent mode. And today we are going to have two programs as part of Dr. S.R. Centenary. First is a presentation by my father, Sri HMV Raghu, on contributions of Dr. S.R. This is a repeat of the same program done in the Music Academy as part of their annual music festival. And this will be followed by a Veena concert by my aunt, Srimati Geeta Bennett, accompanied by Sri S. Bala Shankar and Sri A.V. Krishnan. So just first we start with the presentation by Mr. H.M. Raghu. Thank you.
Guru Bhyo Namaha. This paper was already read during last December, as my son Raman told you. I'm just repeating it. And my daughter Sucharitra Raghunathan will follow the slides presentation. Today, I am presenting the three facets of Dr. S. Ramanathan, the musician, the musicologist, and the guru. First, the musician. As a child prodigy, Dr. S. Ramanathan sang with the Carnatic musicians of the native town, along with the Voduvars of local temple. He was a topper in his school and was offered choice for his higher education. But he preferred to take music as his career, and he proceeded to Chidambaram. Sri Gopalakrishna Bharati's famous Kriti was his inspiration.
Chidambaram pogamal irupeno na janmate veenaki kedupeno. Chidambaram pogamal irupeno na janmate veenaki kedupeno. Chidambaram pogamal irupeno.
He learnt from maestros of the Trinity lineage. You can see in the slide. The chart flows on the left from Muthuswami Dikshitar lineage, down to Vadivelu and Chennaya of the Tanjore Quartet, Kannuswami Nattavanar, and Tanjavur Ponnaya Pillai. Saint Tyagabrahman's Parampara, Veene Kuppayar, Tiruvachur Tyagayar, Tanjavur Ponnaya Pillai, and Manambu Chavadi Venkata Subbayar, Mahavaidyanathar, author of the famous 72 Mela Raga Malika, Valladi Krishnayar, Thiruvayar Sabes Ayyar, and another wing through Patnam Subramaniayar to Tiger Varadacharya, who is the guru of Dr. S. Ramanathan. Again, from Shyama Sastri, we have Subbaraya Sastri, Tachur, Sringarachari, and another Ponnaya Pillai, different from the quartet family. He received Sangeeta Bhushanam degree from Right Honorable V.S. Srinivas Sastri, which was a notable event. Soon after this, he reached Pudukkottai and became a Vainika Gayaka Guru. His younger brother, Sri S. Natarajan, who followed the footsteps of the elder brother and later became famous as Alandu Natarajayar, started performing along with Dr. S. Ramanathan, and both of them were known as Pudukkottai brothers. Even as the teaching profession was growing busy, his mind was longing to meet the Doyen Tiger Sir, who came to Chennai Adayar Kalakshetra, and the Purana Chandrika was reminiscent throughout his concert life, always getting highlighted.
Palukave Yamina Devama, Palukave Yamina Devama, Rama Parulave Nyayama, Palukave.
Similarly, Dr. S.Ramanathan, while listening to a broadcast of Karaikudi Sambasivayar, wrote a letter to him to take him as his disciple, but Veenai Periyavar indicated his choice to Vidyarthis as Gurukulam only and his inability to teach him as a Grahastha. Luck favored Sri S. Ramanathan to meet Devakote Narayana Iyengar, who was a disciple of Karaikudi Sambasivayar in Chennai, and later he learnt the famous Karaikudi style of playing. You can listen to the Tanam in Natai as to how he plays in the famous style. Triplicate in Saidoji Street became his Vasasthala, where he was surrounded by many eminent musicians, scholars of Tamil and Sanskrit. The greatest archivist of Tamil literature, Dr. U.V. Swaminath Iyer, famously known as Tamil Tata, wrote a book on Tamil classic Silapadigaram and many areas relating to the musicology of the Pands. Among many musicians, Sri S. Ramanathan evinced interest to do extensive research with Tamil professor Sri Jagannatacharya of Triplicane and published a book called Silapadigarathu Isai Tamil. This book has placed him on the map of the international ethnomusicology. His earnest desire to start a musical school was fulfilled by naming the institution as Kalaimagal Isai Kalluri. Dr. Ramanathan made an extensive study on the trends of Carnatic music concerts. He observed that the concerts were conducted with a narrow band of chosen items, sometimes repetitive, calling for a review of the repertoire. Dr. S. Ramanathan was a pioneer in bringing out rare kritis for the listeners. Let us listen to the wonderful Devaranji.
Namaste Paradevate Shivayuvate Kamashi. Namaste, Namaste, Namaste Paradevate Shivayuvate Kamashi. Namaste, Namaste, Samasta Vimodaya Yamula Prasite Sadhu Janakita Vritte Sangeeta Shastra Rutte Vimala Guru Gopate Vinodagara Samparte Samasta Devarangita Sachidananda Murtena Namaste Paradevate Shivayuvate Kamashi. Namaste, Namaste, Samma Paraparita Damadani Dapapa Pamana Namaste Paradevate Shivayuvate Kamashi. Namaste, Namaste.
His Panditya in Sanskrit and his immaculate rendering of the Sahityas of Muthuswami Dikshitar struck the attention of scholars like Dr. B. Raghavan, the Secretary of Music Academy, who already initiated him into All India Radio Sanskrit dramas of Kalidasa, where even for the re-recording, the Veena accompanied, enthralled the visitors' gallery. His Lalita with Nannu Brovu Lalita and Hiranmayim were as popular as Batapi and Etavunara. Here again, the studentship to learn rare kritis was progressive every day, with sprightly Vidyarthis visiting his premises to learn.
Nannu Brovu Lalita, Nannu Brovu
When Sri S.Ramanathan professed to throw light on the attachment list of Tyagaraja songs like Utsava Sampradaya Kirtanas, Dibhinama Sankirtana, Prahalada Bhakti Vijayam, the appreciation took a larger dimension with the audience not only from South India but North India also, with fanfare from United Kingdom, United States of America and Malaysia also. His admirers were staunch devotees to his scholarly musicianship. Thus, the scene witnessed a re-evaluation of the traditional curriculums of music, with many institutions slowly reciprocating mutual appreciation and contemplate better integration of concert cultures. Now you can listen to a few clippings of the rarity of the repertoire. Number 1, Balamu Kulamu.
బలము కులము ఏల రామవతి కారణము వెలయు సకల సిద్ధులల్ల వెంటవసుగాని వేరు బలము కులము ఏల రామవతి కారణము వెలయు సకల సిద్ధులల్ల వెంటవసుగాని వేరు బలము కులము ఏల రామవతి కారణము
Number 2, the famous Kadalevadu.
మొదలుదానై నాడే తుద మొదలులేని వాడయ్యాడ గదలేవాడు కాడే రాముడు గదలేవాడు కాడే రాముడు గదలవాడు.
His raga alapanas were measured and appropriate to match the compositional value of the kriti or the kirtana. The highlights were brevity and exemplification of raga lakshana, punctuated in the Sangita Sastras. So was the narrative of the chosen kritis, which was self-explanatory for the choice of the selection. His swara singing was very different from the usual style chosen by many vidwans. It had the strong foundation of Sarvalagu pattern, and still it had a lilt in it, like the swinging of a bamboo, guided by the gentle force of the wind.
వరాలందుకుం మగరి సరి వరాలందుకుం గమగ గమ పమ గమ పమ గమ గరి రిగ పమ గరి సమ గమ మగరి గ సరి గ మద ద పమ గ దద పమ గమ పద ని దద ని పద ని దాది ని దద ని పద పద పమ గ మగరి సరి వరాలందుకుం మణినాయందు వంచన చేయ న్యాయమా న్యాయమా న్యాయమా.
The permutation of 3 notes for us were always enjoyed by audience because the 3 notes had a basic of the Svarita Udatta Anudatta of the Vedic period, like the style and the man made for each other.
Pada
The profile of his musicianship, this is the area of the musicologist. The profile of his musicianship diversified during the early 60s when he became a lecturer in the Adyar Carnatic College of Music. The audience and the student communities offered their affectionate address on him as Professor S.Ramanathan. The audience and the student communities offered their affectionate address on him as Professor S. Ramanathan. Like the family of star musicians in Annamalai University who made the Sangeeta Bhushanam, the colleagues and staff, the principal Musari Subramania Iyer, vice principal T.L. Krishnan, Srimati T. Brinda, all were with him during the contemporary period, and among them he was becoming very popular. Such a friendly circle communicated to the social circles the potential of its wide knowledge of countless departments of music and musicology. Yes, he was a pro. He was a pro as a professional performer, procedural for his daily domestic core, which he kept as the lowest minimum and major balance period for the propagation of music learning among the common listeners. Productive in his authoring pursuits to publish many special manuals, proficient in comparative studies of prominent bifurcations of ethnomusicology, the South Indian, the North Indian, the Asian, the Western, and the different subsections of classical folk and even the origin of the pop and film styles. He was profound in addressing gatherings during moments of debating issues on the issues that were prevailing within the apparent aberrations of the Rasika Rasanubhavas. Many dilemmas of Patantara issues like the famous pros and cons of the 72 Melakarta scheme, which a Tamil magazine bamboozled in 1972, and many other controversial topics. Progressive in his views on the evolutionary transitions of musicianship in the past, present, and future. Among the dozens of the prose found in the Oxford Dictionary, last but not the least, is his propriety on the prosodies of the Sahityas with Dhatus and Matus, similar to the two eyes of the vision, was shining as the protoplasm of knowledge, making up the fullness of erudition. The central and prime areas of chronology were the professorhood and visits to Music Academy. They were the landmarks of the musical journey of Dr. S. Ramanathan. Dr. Raghu started it, and the runners-up nurtured his efforts by crowning him with the status of prime slot performer of the December seasons, the pinnacle of his glory being the awarding of the Sangeeta Kalanidhi in 1985. His visits to the ESA entails the core area of his musicianship. It would be very difficult to brief his contributions to music as an ambassador of the culture to Wesleyan and the Colgate universities. During frequent discussions with the American professors, a Greek mathematician used to join and describe the various areas of musical intervals. When S. Ramanathan expressed to him the way pi was also represented the 22 shrutis on the numerator and the 7 notes on the denominator, right from Silappadikarthi Isai and also in the classical music theory of South Indian music, the Greek mathematician jumped and then prompted Sri S. Ramanathan to write a thesis on ethnomusicology, highlighting the value of pi. This rooted him to get the PhD award from the United States Wesleyan University. He also presented a few vocal concerts and special Veena concert in the United Nations organization. You can see the famous C.V. Narasimhan, Chief de Cabinet of the UNO, accompanying him on the Tanpura. The royal return with the prestigious accolade distinguished him as the rarest among the musicians who visited foreign countries, either with the tutorial pursuits or the concert tours. Along with him, Srimati Gauri Ramanathan, his better half, committed herself to the domestic upbringing, thus supporting his pursuits as an all-rounder of Carnatic music. Thus, the all-rounder Dr. S. Ramanathan became a household name in the music circles. It is my pleasure to play a rare video clipping to you where Sri Lalgudi and Sri Vellur Ramabhadran have accompanied him for the famous Swati Tirunal Kriti, Sarasa Samamukha.
ಪಾರರಹಿತ ಭವ ಘೋರ ಕಲುಷತರ ಪಾರರಹಿತ ಭವ ಘೋರ ಕಲುಷತರ ಪಾರರಹಿತ ಭವ ಘೋರ ಕಲುಷತರ ರಹಿತ ಭವ ಘೋರ ಕರುಷತರ ರಹಿತ ಭವ ಘೋರ ಕರುಷತರ ವಾರಿರಾಗಿ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿತ ಮಹಿಷದಯ ಪಾರ ರಹಿತ ಭವ ಘೋರ ಕರುಷತರ ವಾರಿರಾಗಿ ಪರಿಪಾಲಿತ ಮಹಿಷದಯ ಸಾರಸ ಸಮ ಮುಖ ಪರಮ ಸನಕ ಮುಖ ವಿನುತ ಸಾರಸ ಸಮ ಮುಖ ಪರಮ
He organized special campaigns with his namesake Sri S.Ramanathan, known as Ramji, to show all the tones to the listeners. Together, they developed a special veena called the Shruti veena. We can listen to the pinpointing of the placements where the horse's mouth spells the numbers and the mellifluous voice sings the Shrutis.
From Sa to Re, you have 4 Chatushruti Rishabha. So you have Ekashruti Rishabha, Dvishruti Rishabha, Trishruti Rishabha, and the Chatushruti Rishabha will be consonant of Panchama. Vari Vadapi Ganapatim Vari. If you go from Pa, you will automatically arrive at the 4th. So from fundamental Sa to octave, Ekashruti, Dvishruti, Chandram, Trishruti, 4th, Chatushruti, 5th Shruti, 8, 9, 10, Mabadama Garisa, 11, 12, 13, Panchama, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21st. That is Chuta Shajja Nishad. That is position. 21. And then 22. Sa.
He organized special campaigns with his namesake. This is over. In addition to the many contributions described so far, we come across the special occasions where lecture demonstrations, in memoriam concerts, thematic-based presentations, and similar things were also equally appreciated by the audience. These concerts were as popular as his kacheris also. Example is a clipping of the selection called A Day with Tyagaraja.
Today, my aspiration is to go back as if a time machine of H.G. Wells and go back to the days and place of Tyagaraja in the small village, Tiruvayaru, where he lived for 8 years, and share the pleasure of being in the vicinity of Tyagaraja, being in his own house for one whole day. Tyagaraja's day starts and he had no one to worship or to serve under. He had only Rama and his music. And he served Rama through music, his own compositions. Tyagaraja gets up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and his first concern is Rama. He has to wake me up. Meluko vaya mammeluko Rama meluko meluko vaya mammeluko Rama melaina Sita समेतना भाग्यमा मेलैन सीता समेतना भाग्यमा मेलुको मेलुको Please get up. Rajarajaduru, the kings are waiting at your door to take lessons in diplomacy. Please wake up. Meluko dayanidhi, meluko dasharati, meluko dayanidhi, meluko dasharati, meluko dayanidhi.
The next thing is a day with Dikshitar, just like this.
ஸ்வர அக்ஷர சங்கீதம். ஸ்வரமும் அக்ஷரமும் ஒன்றா இருக்கு. அதுக்கு கொடுத்தவர் அதனுடைய ஆரிஜின் நம்ம ராமசாமி முத்துசாமி தீட்சனுடைய அப்பா. அது மட்டும் இல்லை, தெலுங்குலையும் சமஸ்கிருத்திலையும் மகா பண்டிதர். ஸ்வரங்களையே கொண்டே ஒரு பாட்டு அமைச்சிருக்கோம். அதுக்கு பேர் ஸ்வரஸ்தானங்களே சாகித்யத்தின்னு வந்ததுன்னா அதுக்கு பேர் ஸ்வர அக்ஷர சங்கீதம். ஸ்வரமும் அக்ஷரமும் ஒன்றா இருக்கு. இப்போ இந்த ராமசாமி தீட்சிதர் ஒரு பாட்டு ஸ்வரஸ்தான பதம்னு ஒன்று பண்ணிருக்க. சரிகானி தானி பாமரினி நீ பத சமாகமமாகனி சா. ஒரு நாயகியை பற்றி சிபாரிசு பண்ணுறாங்க ஒரு தோழி பகவான்கிட்ட போய், அவகிட்ட நீ இப்படி கோச்சிருக்கியே, உனக்கு அவ சரி சமானமாக விட்ட கோச்சிக்கலாம். அவளை போய் இப்படி கோச்சிக்கிறீ நீ, அவள் ஒன்று திருவிடையில் ஒன்று பாதத்தில் வந்து விழறா, அவளை ஏற்றிக்க நீ. மறி மறி கனி மீண்டும் மீண்டும் பார்த்து சாகனி பண்ணி தகதனி, இதை மாதிரி தகாத காரியம் கூட செய்யக்கூடாது. மானி காணிக்கா, அவளுக்கு ரோஷம் இருக்காதா நீ இப்படி பண்ணுறீங்க, நிம்மதிக்காதா ஒன்று சேர்ந்தவே இல்லையா அப்படின்னு ஒரு பாட்டு. சரி காணி தானி பாமரி நின்னி பத சமாகமமாக நீ கனிசா மரி மரி கனிசா கனி பனி தகதனி மானி காணிகா நீ மணி காதா கரி மமதானி பதாரி சதாரி கமபதனி கானி கா நிதா நிப சகனி தானி பசகனி. பசான அன்பு, அவளுடைய அன்பை பார்த்து நீ அவளை எடுத்துக்க. தானி பசகனி சரிகா நிதானி பா மரி நின்னி பத சமாகமமாக நீ கனிசா மரி மரி கனி சாகனி பனி தகதனி மானி காணிகா நீ மணி காதா மணலி வெங்கடகிருஷ்ணேந்திர நாதோ கமத மகரிணி சாரி கரிணி தகாரி மா கதா தனி நித மக கம மத தனி நிகரி தனி சரி நித மக மக நித மகரிணி சரிகா நிதானி பாமகி நின்னி மத சமா கம மாகனி கனி. இந்த புலிக்கு பிறந்தது பூனையாகமா அந்த ராமசாமி தீட்சிதருடைய பிள்ளை தான் முத்துசாமி தீட்சிதர். யாருடைய நம்ம நாளை கொண்டாடுறோமோ அந்த முத்துசாமி தீட்சிதர் இவருடைய பிள்ளை. சொல்லி வச்சிருக்க மாட்டாரா எல்லாத்தையும்? சங்கராபுரம் மனசோ ஸ்வாதீனமையா கனோ நீகே மரிமந்திர மேல அக்ஷயலிங்க விபோ.
Dr. Ramanathan has composed music to famous scholars like Perisami Thuran and Srimati Ambujam Krishna. His own compositions, Baba Priye Bhavani and few varnams are in vogue. A special kriti on his Guru Tiger Varadachari is noteworthy.
Varadacharya Deva Paripalaya 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 Varadacharya Deva.
This song was recently recorded in my studio. His daughters, my sisters-in-law Vidya Hari, sitting there, and her sister Lata Radhakrishnan, they both rendered it. Give them a big hand. Srimati Savitri Satyamurthy, a vocal violinist, had taken utmost care in archiving most of these compositions done by my father-in-law, Dr. S.Ramanathan. But for her efforts, documentation would have been almost impossible. His disciples sing frequently his Sivaranjani song, Ba Velava, and so much as per his compositions. And many are there. We have just taken a few percentage of the entire crux. His teaching style was unique, and I have a personal experience in Madurai during the early 70s. In every class, be that any form, from Varnam to RTP, he instilled the Arohana Avarohana grammar by specially composing alankarams on the spot in Good Street. I've seen it. I've also sat for the class. On the spot for the disciples. Every disciple had to practice it in different speeds, and only after ensuring that all the students had mastered the technique, he would start the main song to be learnt. This point is noteworthy. Dr. Ramanathan's deep survey on the life of Mahakavi Subramanya Bharati prompts him to unlock the controversy of Bharatiyar's Vaggeya Karakatva of Bhuloka Kumari in Bhimpalas. His lecture on the brief life sketch of the poet indicates the unchangeable prasa lakshanas found in the Karna Paramparya.
சுப்பிரமணிய பாரதியார் இவர் சென்னையில் இருந்திருக்கிறார். இளமை படிப்பு பெனாரஸ்லையும் போய் சில ஆண்டுகள் இருந்திருக்கிறார். எங்கள் முத்துசாமி தீட்சிதர் எப்படி 5-6 ஆண்டுகள் வடக்கே போய் பெனாரஸில் இருந்தாரோ அதே மாதிரி சுப்பிரமணிய பாரதியாரும் அந்த ஊரில் போய் இருந்திருக்கிறார். சங்கீத விஷயத்தை பற்றி தனியாக ஒரு நூலே எழுதியிருக்கிறார். அவருடைய தம்பி விஸ்வநாதிகர் அங்கே வந்து அவரை போய் பார்க்குறது. பார்த்தபோது அவர் என்னுடைய அண்ணா அப்படி பாடுவான் என்று சில பாடல்களை பாடி காட்டினார். அதில் இந்த பூலோககுமாரின்னு சமஸ்கிருதத்தில் 2-3 பாட்டு போட்டுக்க, 3 பாட்டு இருக்குது. அந்த 3 பாட்டில் பூலோககுமாரின்ற பாட்டை இவர் கர்நாடக தேவகாந்தாரி பீம்ப்ளாஸ்ன்னு அங்கே சொல்லுவார். அதில் இவர் போட்டிருக்கார்.
பூலோக குமாரி ஹே அமிர்தநாரி ஆலோக சிங்காரி அமிர்த கலச குஜபாரே கால பய குடாரி காமவாரி கரசல தாரு பகர்வதி மிராரே பூலோக குமாரி ஹே அமிர்தநாரி பூலோக குமாரி ஹே அமிர்தநாரி.
The foregoing song you listened, the crisp of the youth, like the chirping of the birds, was sung.
சொன்னவனே அதில் வந்து சமத்தில் தான் முடியணும்னு இல்லை. இதில் வந்து சமத்தில் முடிகிறது, சமத்தில் முடியாமல் இருக்கிறதும் உண்டு. எப்படின்னா கலச ஜலதீலோ லக்ஷ்மி தோவோ கலச ஜலதீலோ லக்ஷ்மி தோவோ கலச ஜலதீலோ அங்கே அரை இடத்துல வந்து முடியும். பதி துல ப்ரோ ஜெய பதிகா பதி துல ப்ரோ ஜெய பகட்டாதிகா. இந்த பல்லவிகளுடைய ரெக்கார்டெல்லாம் நம்ம ஆராய்ந்து பார்த்தோம்னா எல்லாம் இந்த முக்காரிட பல்லவி, 4 கிளை சவுக்கம் அல்லது 2 கிளை சவுக்கத்தில் முக்காரிட பல்லவி தான் பாடியிருக்கு. ஒனுது பாதம் துணையே, பரிமள ரங்கபதே, இந்த கானலோல கருணா, இதெல்லாம் இந்த பழைய பல்லவியில் பாடியிருக்கா. ஹிருதய கமலவாசன் சவுடையாக கொடுத்துருக்க. இதெல்லாம் பார்த்தா முக்காரிட பல்லவி தான். இந்த அரிதின்றது பெரும்பாலும் இதில் தட்டில் வரும். அது எக்ஸப்ஷன். இப்போ சொன்ன மாதிரி அப்படி தான் வரணும்னு இல்லை, பாதியில் வந்து முடிகிறதும். ராயரத்னம் பிள்ளை ஒரு பல்லவி ரெக்கார்டு கொடுத்துருக்கார், அதுலேயும் அப்படி தான் தட்டுக்கு முன்னாலேயே முடியும். அது வார்த்தை என்னன்னு தெரியாது. இந்த ஆயுதாளம் தவிர வேறு தாளங்கள் உள்ள பல்லவியும் பாடுவா. அப்படி பாடும்போது ரூபக தாளம், திரிபுட தாளம், இந்த தாளங்கள்லாம் பல்லவி பாடியிருக்கேன். அதுவும் பாடல்களே எடுத்து அதனுடைய பல்லவியை பாடியிருக்கேன், விஸ்தாரம் பண்ணியிருக்கேன்.
In 1987, Doordarshan Kendra telecast a prestigious documentation on Saint Tyagaraja. While late Sri Kasturi, a senior director of All India Radio and Television, enacted the role of the saint, all the musical renderings for Kasturi were provided by Dr. S.Ramanathan. You can listen to an audio clipping.
Dora kuna itu valdi se eva 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 dora kuna
That marks his services rendered as a musicologist and a musician. A portion of the Guru has crept as an encroachment in the previous thing by inadvertent mistake of the papers getting stuck up. I'll resume to the Guru portion. The earliest prominent disciple of Pudukkottai chapter was late Payani Vijayalakshmi of radio fame and a hot seller of Shyamala Dandakam, a 78 RPM lacquer disc. From the same Pudukkottai chapter, when Justice K.S. Venkatraman was the collector, his daughter Srimati Sulochana Natarajan learned from him. She used to acknowledge for many decades about the benefits of her learning from Dr. S.Ramanathan, which helped her to establish a vast archived Ramana Maharishi repertoire. Srimati Janaki Venkatraman, wife of ex-president of India, or Venkatraman. The Trichy group, famous for their choral rendering of the music Trinity. The Madurai group, who have been benefited by Dr. S. Ramanathan when he was the principal of Sadguru Sangeeta Samajam. His daughters, starting with my wife Sukanya, to his youngest daughter, Dr. Vanati Raghuraman, all his 7 daughters are totally involved in music propagation, with his second daughter Geeta Bennett, a Veena player and a Vainika Gayaka Guru of international repute like her father. And she's there. His next daughter, Srimati Vidyahari, retired as a headmistress of a government school. The next daughter, Dr. Bhanumati Raghuraman, along with her husband, Sri V. Raghuraman, are running a prime music institution in Singapore called Alapana. The next daughter, Srimati Lata Radhakrishnan, is a violin vidushi and a teacher. The next daughter, Dr. Padma Gadiyar, is a mathematics professor, doctorate in mathematics, and a Vainika. She is also a guitarist, classical guitarist, Western. The youngest daughter, Dr. Bhanumati Raghuraman, as all you know, is a vocalist and a composer too. She has composed many ballets for Bharatanatyam. His son, R. Tyagarajan, my brother-in-law, a sound engineer, has spent years to archive the audio and video clippings of his father. He has helped us to present this program with all his audio and video clippings. Among his students, Dr. S. Soumya and P. Unnikrishnan are musical stars of the international repute. A special mention has to be made to Srimati Sita Narayanan, a top-grade vocalist of All India Radio and TV, and who is talented in both Hindustani and Carnatic music. To sum up, nature's gift to music world with a rare genius, who was an amalgamation of all virtues of a devotee, who inhaled and exhaled music, lives as an exceptional hero who practiced Vidyadhanam as a way of life. I remember Saint Tyagaraja's Endra Mahanabhavulu, the last charana where Bhagavata Ramayana Gita Di Shruti Sastra Purana Pumarma Pulan. I just remember that, where he describes the life of a Nirapati Sukhatma. Nirapati Sukhatmulai Tyagaraja Aptulai, how he has arrived to the placement of a Tyagaraja Apta, you will know. He was a Bhagavata. He digested Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, the Shruti Sastras, the intricacies of all Puranas, the secrets of Shivadi Shanmata philosophy, the Raga Layadi Saukya Bhavam, and with all this he was Chirayu Kaliga Nirapati Sukhatma, and thus he is a Tyagaraja Apta. I thank all people who listen to this lecture.